What's up, everybody? Welcome into Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It's me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia, and it's Thursday night. You know what that means? It's time to look at the Thursday night football game this evening. It's the Detroit Lions traveling to Green Bay. Finally, a game that really matters for both of these teams in this division. So I think we're going to find out a little bit more about who the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers really are. We've got some big stars returning for the Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson is in. Aaron Jones is in. Also, David Montgomery back as well for the Detroit Lions. So full strength. Let's go. Now, the one big caveat here, Scott Bogman, is we all know from the splits last year that Jared Goff, as we always call him on this show, is an indoor cat. Jared Goff does not like to go outside much, so he's going to go outside now. It's not December. It's just September. Yeah. But at the same time, it should be a really interesting division game here for both of these teams, and I am looking forward to it, Boggs.
I mean, we're not getting any weird weather tonight, right? Like,
no,
sure, I worry about Jared Goff just in general, but unless there's weird weather and it's not cold, I think he's going to be fine. So I'm not too worried about Jared Goff. So I don't know. I hate this game. I do not like it.
Why? I think it's going to be a great football game.
I think
I'm excited about this
too, and that's why I don't like it for props and betting and stuff. Is because I do think it's going to be close, and the line is close, and the over under I can't decide on. I keep flipping back and forth. I'm not usually wishy-washy, but you're not. But we have major players that are playing this game at less than 100%. Like you said, it is outdoors. Jordan Love's numbers are better than what he's been playing as, although he looked great in the second half last week. So it's just, to me, it's a Thursday, which is weird. It's divisional, which is weird. There's a bunch of questionable players that are weird. So something weird's going to happen here, or we're going to have the most normal game ever because something weird should happen. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just a little on.
Well, I think whenever you have uncertainties about the outcome of a game, and I think what you're talking about and describing to me is the thing that we were just talking about before, on some of these other games that are coming up this week, which is the 4 outcome game where you can see, a lopsided victory on one of the two sides. You can see a very close game or a game that really underperforms and it's not very, exciting in terms of total. So when you have the 4 outcome games, I think what you do is you try to focus on the things you can control. And I think looking at this game, we're going to get to the props. I see you out there, YouTube user, very Clever name, YouTube user. Looking forward to some props. We're going to get into the props, but I think you focus on the individuals and the things you can control. Things like Amon-Ra St. Brown productivity, perhaps things like David Montgomery anytime touchdown scorer, things of that nature. When you can control the narrative of individuals, at least you have a chance to make some money, as opposed to trying to control the chaos of what could be two very good teams battling for this division in what is the most important game so far on either of the slate. And I won't say it's like a must win necessarily for the Green Bay Packers, but it does put them in a really good position. I feel like if they win this game at home against Detroit, they got a couple games to still play, eventually against Chicago and all of that. So both these teams, I think, are going to beat up on the division a little bit, but who knows? This one right now is definitely going to be a fun one. So let's get after it. Let's start talking about this. Before we do, don't forget we got a giveaway, and it's James. All right, everybody, it's that time again here at Betting Pros. Time to give away some free stuff, and this time we're giving away a James Cook autographed jersey. That's right. This jersey can be yours, and all you have to do is subscribe to our Betting Pros YouTube channel. That sounds pretty easy. Oh, wait, and drop a comment below. That sounds easy, too. So subscribe, drop a comment below, and you just might win this autographed jersey thanks to us here at Betting Pros. And don't... All right, everybody, let's get after it here. And oh my goodness, I don't think we have the right screen. There's the right screen. I was so close, Scott Bogman. I felt like I was doing something wrong, and I did. It was a line down there for a second, but here we go. Let's get after it here. Let's talk about this game here. And clearly, right now, the way the odds are stacking up, we have the Detroit Lions 2-1, the Green Bay Packers 2-1. As of right now, Green Bay is home underdogs, plus 2.5. You can get this at minus 110 over at DraftKings, according to Betting Pros. -2 on the side of the Detroit Lions here. You can get that number on FanDuel. The number is hovering between 44.5 and 45.5. If you like the under, you can get the bigger number over at FanDuel at minus 115. If you like the over, go for the 44.5 over on PointsBet. And then if you like Green Bay to win on the money line, it's plus 120. So, Boggs, I kind of think that's where I'm going. I like home underdogs, typically speaking. I know that last game of the season left a bad taste in the Packers' mouths. I feel like there's a renewed confidence. This team is going to be full strength tonight. I think Detroit is the better team, but I think Green Bay wins this game. So to me, the most appealing of any of these is just the Packers. Let's flip the coin, take the plus money on the plus 120. That's where I stand. But where do you stand on this one?
Like I said, I hate it. So I just think Detroit's the better team right now. So I'm gonna stick with the Lions here. I think the improvements on defense, they haven't clicked all the way, but I think we're gonna get there a little bit here. We have major players that are probably playing at less than 100% in Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. Although I still do like both those players and expect them to make some big plays, maybe it's just a little bit limited. So I'm gonna take the Lions on the road, but like I said, I'm flip-flopping more on the over and the under. Usually Thursday night is for unders, but life's still too short to bet the under. Let's go with the over in this game. I think we're going to see more firepower than I expect in a Thursday night game. So I'll go with the Lions. I think they have a little bit more firepower right now, a little more explosion, and I will also go with the over.
Faustino Hernandez brings up a good point. It's a teaser game, Faustino says. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yes, 100%.
I agree as well.
Yeah. Take some points if you can get them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the way I'll go too. I just like home underdogs. Like that's typically what I like, especially when the teams are pretty close. And I want to reiterate,
good teams too. They're both pretty solid.
Yeah, they're both pretty solid teams. I think they're coming off a very big victory. Now, the hesitation I know some people will have will say, okay, well, last week they were getting their butt kicked on Sunday. The Green Bay Packers were before Derek Carr went out. Derek Carr went out. All of a sudden, the comeback happened. The next thing you know, right? So that's all fair. But I think sometimes you can't take too much week to week from certain teams. And I think with the Packers getting Aaron Jones back, that's a huge piece to me. To me, when you have Aaron Jones, you can control the pace of the game a little bit more. You have that go-to running back. And A.J. Dillon hasn't been good. He was not doing anything special in that stead of Aaron Jones.
My God, he's been bad.
So that's my big thing is like, as much as you want, and the other piece of getting Christian Watson back too, he is that dynamic playmaker. And I hate that word dynamic, you do too. But he stretches out the field. He touches the ball one time and it's a touchdown. And you know what he brings.
He's
dangerous. That's the other part of this offense they've been missing, right? You saw, Jaden Reed almost come up with that ball in the end zone, right? You're like, Christian Watson's going to catch those balls. And Christian Watson's also going to catch a ball, at your own 25 and take it 75 yards. Like that's the kind of dude he is. And I think that's the other thing that's been missing. And Jordan Love's played relatively well. And I'm not trying to knock the Detroit Lions, because I think the Lions have done a really good job of building this roster. I think they're a very formidable team. But I again, it's the home underdog situation, Thursday night football, the bad taste in their mouth. I'm not saying revenge game because I don't like that narrative either. I think that's lazy, but Bogman are on the opposite ends of this game.
If there's some revenge, how about
Monday.
the Lions for the last 50 years? How about that?
That's fine too.
I mean,
that's also fine.
If we're building narratives, I'd say the Lions they've got more to be heard about than the Packers do.
100%. Although they did have to live with Aaron Rodgers for the last 18 years or whatever it was. So,
I mean, that's no fun, but they have to Super Bowl. So
I get just one though. Just one.
Yeah. Well,
I remember everybody though. I know you remember it worse than some others. But let's get to some of the props before we do. Just a reminder to everybody out there too. NFL contest still going on. Weekly prizes, monthly prizes, and the big Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey prize going on also. So make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to Betting Pros, download the app, go to the community tab and then go click NFL contest, or just go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Make 5 picks a week. That's all you got to do to be eligible for the weekly prize. 100 for the whole season for the JSN jersey prize. But we're also giving away monthly winners too. So if you come in late, doesn't matter. You can still win some free swag. You can win some upgrades to Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros. We're giving away merch to our stores at Betting Pros and Fantasy Points. So go do all of those things. It's a good time. Boggs, let's get to some of the props you got, because I know you've been digging deep, working in the salt mines. And let's start with Jordan Love.
Yeah, let's go with Jordan Love first. Over 227.5 passing yards. This is the low number. I know that I think he's only hit this number once in 3 games so far, but I just think that with the way AJ Dillon has looked, and Patrick Taylor hasn't looked much better either, and Aaron Jones being up but probably limited in this game. I mean, I think the whole reason he didn't play on Sunday was so he could play for this game. So maybe a little more spry. I do have a pick with him later, but I think that you're going to rely on the passing game a little bit more. You're going to make quick, easy throws for Jordan Love. You're probably not going to go deep into the bag of tricks too often here in this game, divisional game. They'll see you again. You don't want to show too much as well. So I think it's going to be a lot of quick passes and let the playmakers do things. So a lot of quick hitters to Musgrave, a lot of quick hitters to Watson. If you have them, they'll reach back and fire the deep one every once in a while because you have guys that make those plays like Dobbs and Love. So if we can get a bunch of completions and then maybe 1 or 2 of those big hitters, I think he can get to this total. I think is pretty low.
All right. Very good. So that's right off the pot here with Jordan Love. And I think the Christian Watson element to this game too changes that. You have that field stretcher guy, the guy that can, again, make that one move and then be gone. He's so fast. He's so electric. So that helps 227.5, which is, like you said, kind of a low number for this game, even though he hasn't necessarily, scratched through this number a million times. All right, let's go to the next one here. We got a couple actually in a row here on the Detroit side. So let's talk about those.
Let's go with Amon-Ra St. Brown over 71.5 receiving yards. I mean, the juice isn't the best on this. It's -120, but the last 2 games in a row, 9 catches for 102, 6 catches for 102. His low total this year was 6 for 71 with the score on Thursday night against the Chiefs to open up. So, I mean, just Amon-Ra is the number 1 option in this offense. You may not get the most touches in this offense. That may go to Montgomery or Gibbs, depending on how banged up Montgomery is. And we just haven't seen it really enough from Gibbs for me to rely on him yet. So let's go with the steady Eddie here. If you're down in this game, you need to get the ball to your best playmaker. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is easily the best playmaker here. I think he goes over 71.5. We get Jair Alexander's either out or less than 100%. So I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to eat in this game.
He's got a anytime touchdown prop of plus 135 too. It's not bad. I mean,
I don't hate it.
Everybody's in the plus tonight, by the way, for the touchdown scorers over on.
I want 200.
Well, there's some guys at 200. Sam Laporta is at plus 220. Christian Watson's plus 260. Luke Musgrave is 310. So you've got some numbers here on some guys too. And if you want to get wacky with Khalif Raymond at plus 470 or something odd like that, that's always possible too. But definitely some guys on that board. All right. So Amon-Ra St. Brown over on the 71.5. Speaking of Sam Laporta, you do have a wager on him you like tonight. What is it?
Let's go with over 42.5 receiving yards. I think if we are going to get to this over, and the real reason I think we get to this over is because these backs are less than 100%. So Bogman, I think Amon is going to be great. So, but I think we're going to see a lot of passing, which is why I flip-flopped a little bit on this total. My initial thought was, let's go with the under. These are two NFC North grinded out teams. But when you have RBs that are less than 100%, I think we get some more tosses, which means more points probably and potentially more yards for these receivers. 42.5 for Sam Laporta. He's a number 2 option in the receiving game right now. Remember last week, I mean, wasn't Josh Reynolds like the number 2 pickup or whatever last week? And then he gets a target, so it's Amon-Ra, it's Laporta, and then it's probably Gibbs and mix in whoever else.
It sounded very Italian the way you said that, by the way. It's Amon-Ra, it's Laporta, it's all of these guys.
Amon-Ra, it's Laporta. These are my cousins. I love all of them. Look, Laporta, like I said, I feel like we're going to see more passes with these running backs at less than 100%. There's just a big focus on keeping these running backs healthy and throughout the year, especially guys you paid like Montgomery and like Aaron Jones. So I think we just see a couple more passes because of that in this game, which, the pace I don't think is going to be great, but I still think we can get to this total. This is a 24-21 game,
I'm not touching the total in this game.
Yeah.
This is right on. So,
but you get one. You get one big play, you get one extra field goal at the end, it goes into overtime. Like there's so many outs to the over here, which is why I'm taking the over. And why
I'll tell you what, this is another
Laporta's the number 2 option in the receiving game right now.
This is a fascinating in-game to bet too, because if one of these teams should fall behind in the first half, it would not shock me. Like if the Green Bay Packers were down 10 at the half, right? And that number grew even more. It would not shock me if the Packers came back and won the game. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's going to be value inside this game. Right. I mean, they did just do it. But I think to that point, if you don't like this game or you maybe like a side of it, but you don't see enough value, maybe wait. Maybe bet this one in live at halftime and see where things are going, and kind of say, well, Detroit's down by 10. I'm getting a better number on them now. Let's go take that plus money on them to win. And maybe that's the best value as opposed. And I think that's the thing too, when you see the 4 outcome games, like let it unfold a little bit, start to see what's going on, because then you can make some other adjustments. Maybe Aaron Jones comes out of this game, re-aggravates the hamstring, or Christian Watson. So there's so many different elements here to this game, and that's not an impossibility for those factors to happen. So by the way, Laporta, as I mentioned before, plus 220, that's my favorite anytime touchdown score. I love Laporta tonight. I'm in Laporta. Like Montgomery is my other one at plus 125. So to me, like Montgomery to score, the Packers to win, like that little skinny parlay, as I like to call them, that's the way I would attack this game tonight before getting into the actual game. So Laporta, you talked about, I talked about. Let's talk about the other tight end on the other side of this game. Luke Musgrave, 3.5 receptions, plus 110. You like the over?
Yeah, I think any way you cut this up, I like this for Luke Musgrave. He's just been more involved recently. He's had a couple drops, sure. He's had a couple balls underthrown to him too. So him and Love are kind of still working it out a little bit. But what I really like for Musgrave in this scenario is the fact that we don't have, maybe Jack Campbell gets more playing time here, but we don't have good cover linebackers for the Lions, right? Are you going to, I don't think you're going to put Brian Branch on Musgrave. I don't think that's necessary. So with Watson taking deep hitters, I think that middle is going to be,
I don't think you can afford to put Branch on Musgrave.
Not with Watson up.
Not with Watson back. No, I don't think you can. I had to really marinate on that when you said it out loud. I was like, you know what? I don't think so. Like I just can't get there.
Exactly. So I just think that I think he's going to be utilized. Like I said, quick passes with this running game, looking like AJ Dillon looking like he's in sand, and Aaron Jones less than 100%. I think we're going to see a lot of passes again. I think that behooves, I just don't know what the mix of the wideouts is going to be. Obviously, we know Watson's going to be in there. Dobbs is going to be in there. Jaden Reed's going to get in the mix, of course. So who comes off the field, who's on the field on every down, I don't know. But I know Luke Musgrave is going to be out there on almost every snap. So I just see him as a viable option on every play, which means he'll probably get over 3.5 catches.
Yeah, I can understand that. All right, let's go to one more now. Aaron Jones is the last guy. Usually Scott Bogman always has a defensive one here, but no defensive picks for you today. I think that's
that's
a little
pointed.
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Why?
the reason I don't have a defensive pick is because I don't know about time of possession in this game. I don't know who's going to have the ball more. So I like to know who's going to have the ball more, in my opinion, or just like, how the game is going to go. I think last week we got that Dax Hill over, or on Monday, we got the Dax Hill over. By the way, homie had 5 tackles by halftime and then didn't get another one until Puka Nacua caught that ball a yard short of the goal. And then he got the next tackle on the next play too, which is just crazy. But
I kept that game real simple Monday night. I told you I did exactly what I said I was going to do. Hurts anytime touchdown scorer along with the Eagles victory. Again, that skinny parlay of taking the 2 things you like the most, put them together, the things you think are locks, getting the plus money on it, locking it in. And guess what? I made back some of the Sunday losses on that bad boy. So I was very happy about that.
Same seas. So
although again, that's my problem. I should just pay attention to my own picks on Betting Pros and just stick with those. Sunday, I get all, I'm like, like Chris Farley when he's finally eating like the chicken wings.
Jojo,
I get all
the
like
idiot
Jojo, the idiot circus boy. Yeah, I get like that on Sunday and I start going too much. And it hurts me if I just stick to I was 11-4. Should have just stuck to those things. Idle hands, Bogman. Idle hands.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. First of all, the linebacker scenario in Green Bay is weird because Campbell's out, right? And it's also weird. Like if you want to take Quay Walker at the over 8.5, I believe it was earlier, I don't hate that, but I think the juice was like -160. So the juice was not good on that one at all. Sacks are okay. I don't hate
Quay Walker juice -154 on FanDuel. Yeah.
See, yeah, it wasn't good. And then with the Lions, Anzalone has been out there a bunch, but they took snaps away from him and they've been mixing Anzalone and Jack Campbell.
Yeah. The
Derek
under
Barnes.
on him is -130. So that's also not a good one.
Right. So I just don't know how that mix is going to be. Some of those defensive backs are okay. I didn't hate the Brian Branch one. I think it was 5.5, but that is kind of, I don't know. I've been missing on the defensive backs a little bit more than I like this year. So I kind of stick in the linebackers for tackle totals. I don't like any in this game. And the sacks are fine, but I think they're going to pass more. Are they going to pass more? Are we going to get a lot of options? And if they are passing more, specifically for Jordan Love, I think we're getting quick hits. I don't think we're getting deep bombs. I don't think he's going to hang around.
No, probably not. But look, Aaron Jones's return, if you establish the run early, allows you to start running more play action. And the other thing, too, which makes the sack props tough, is that Jordan Love is, I think, I would say, pretty mobile in the pocket. And the guys are a little bit more mobile in the pocket. They're able to avoid those as opposed to, Jared Goff, who's not going to avoid too much.
You have the sack props pulled up because like Rashawn Gary,
Aiden Hutchinson to record a sack is +110. Aiden Hutchinson to not is -140. Kenny Clark to record +136. To not record a sack -180. And then Preston Smith, that's the only other one I see.
We don't have Gary on there, Rashawn Gary?
Not right now. On FanDuel anywhere where I'm looking.
I think Rashawn Gary was the first one I looked at because he had the sack that killed Derek Carr last week, and he was getting in there a lot. So, but he was questionable coming in as well.
Well,
so
that's probably why you don't see him on
100%.
Maybe he's a game time decision. It's possible. All right, so let's get to that last prop you have there. I know it's an Aaron Jones prop, so let's finish it off here. 14.5 receiving yards is -120, but you like the over on this one?
Yeah, man. I mean, 14.
Hey, his rushing prop ain't huge either. The number on that is relatively
he's
small.
less than 100%.
Hey, 45.5 still is pretty tiny. Like that's a small number for Aaron Jones.
Can you double check this number for me and just make sure that I got it at the right number? Because I was also looking at
receiving props for Aaron Jones 15.5 now on FanDuel. So
okay, so it went up by 1 yard. He could get this on one catch. Like this is the play that he got hurt on, was a long catch and he pulled his hamstring. So I don't think they're taking those out of the playbook. I think they're still going to be a huge part. He led the Packers in receptions last year. So I think he gets this. That's actually probably, as long as he's playing, I think 14.5 receiving yards, 15.5. You can call it whatever. I think that's my favorite prop of the night. If Aaron Jones is up and everything is pointing to him playing and playing well, because he's Aaron Jones, how can he not get this total is my question. At least he's going to have at least 3 or 4 targets. So, and probably at least 2 or 3 catches. I think he easily gets this number.
All right. Just to recap, everybody who might have joined us a little later, Bogman is on the lines and the points. I'm on the money line for the Green Bay Packers underdogs at home. I'm also saying if you're not thrilled with this game, just wait. bet this one in live, because whoever's down, they become a good value, and then they can come back and win this football game. To me, that is the ultimate approach to this one, because it is going to be a weird, wacky one. It feels like, that's where we're headed tonight. Scott Bogman's props for the night. He likes the over on 227.5 passing yards at -110 for Jordan Love. Amon-Ra over 71.5 receiving yards, -120. Like that one too. Sam Laporta over 42.5 receiving yards, -115. Again, you get 2-1 on the anytime touchdown for Sam Laporta. Luke Musgrave over 3.5 receptions, +110. Aaron Jones, 14.5 receiving yards, -120. There you go. And Boggs is going to the over of the 45, and I am not touching that. Not with a 10-foot pole. You can have the over, and you can have us back again on Monday to talk all about this. Also, don't forget Scott Bogman, the college football shows out there too, with Mike and Thor. Just tremendous work there those guys are doing over there. Don't forget also to set your Betting Pros app to get all the line alerts for all the games this weekend. We dropped a great show today on Betting Pros YouTube channel. Subscribe there. We talked about all of our favorite bets for the week. And then tomorrow's the prop show. As always, make sure you're syncing all your sportsbook to the Betting Pros app right now. Start betting smarter, not harder. Track all your bets and try just to bet the ones that you put in there, like me. I should say, don't be like me and then go overdo it on Sunday, because you become JoJo the Idiot Circus Boy. And that's what happens. That's a good life lesson for all of you out there. So enjoy the game tonight. Big in-game NFL action, in division stuff. Should be a really good time. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Have a great time watching Thursday Night Football.
Sorry.